Hey, this is Eddie Pence, comedian and actor from Los Angeles, co-host of The Ralph Report on Patreon.com. I'm a guest today on the Talking Codswallop podcast. Please listen.
Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma, and with me today I have got a very, I don't know what I was going to say, I've lost my train of thought already.
I have that effect on people.
Yes, you do. No, I've got a very well-known man. If you listen to either The Ramble or The Ralph Report, or you follow his stand-up career. His name is Eddie Pence, and hopefully we're going to have lots and lots of giggles this episode. So, welcome to the show, Eddie.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, back. Sorry, yes, that's a very good point. Yes.
And sorry this one took so long to get underway. We've been planning this for a few weeks now, and it finally was able to happen.
You know what they say, Eddie, best things come to those who wait.
Right?
Exactly. So it's all good. I mean, obviously the best thing for you rather than, me. If only I had an ego as big as that in real life.
Me too.
Yeah. So how have you been during lockdown?
Good. I mean, we're still it's weird. My life didn't change much during the lockdown, and we're still obviously in it, and it's just as bad now as it was back in March. But I would just go to, I record the Ralph Report over at Ralph Garman's house, and I record the Ramble over at Jerry's place. So I was just bubbled with the same people. So I was just in my same world. The only thing I miss is going on stage and doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
That's probably been the biggest thing. And, and of course the kids home now doing the homeschooling stuff because you can't go into school. So that part's a nightmare. But other than that.
Yeah, exactly. That is hard. And with regards to his homeschooling, are you having to do much of the teaching yourself or?
No. He just started middle school this year, which I guess here is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I don't know what the school system is over there. But that's middle school. And he was in elementary school, and now this year he goes into a new school. And so he's been doing everything remotely with all of his teachers for all his different classes. And he's had great teachers, and they're very good at communicating through the Zoom chats or the Zoom classes. And he's such a good kid that he's very disciplined and motivated to do well in school. So he just sort of takes it up on himself, and he just got his first report card back, and he's got all high marks on everything.
Oh.
So he's one of those kids that is actually thriving in this environment for some reason. I don't know why or how. I guess he's my kid. We'll do a DNA test to make sure. But because if I was in his situation, I'd be playing video games and with toys all day long. I mean, I don't know how he does it, but he does.
Do you watch South Park?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch the South Park pandemic special?
I haven't recorded. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't spoil it, but there's a thing that Cartman does with homeschooling. He's basically, I don't know if it might ruin it, so I won't say anymore, but yeah, there's something that he does. Yeah.
I'm sure I'd be doing it too.
Yes.
I'd be doing everything but school.
Yes. That's basically what he does. But yeah, it's kind of like camera freezes, but does it freeze or is he really there? But yeah, you definitely need to get on that, Eddie. You need to watch that.
Yeah. I will. I haven't recorded. I just keep forgetting. It keeps getting bumped down the queue.
Yeah. Well, especially as the Mandalorian's back on, isn't it? So.
Oh yeah. See, there's more pressing matters.
Yeah, I was going to say I haven't watched any of them yet. They are on my list, but I'm, to be honest, not a massive Star Wars fan. So.
No, nobody's perfect.
I know, right? But yeah, I do like Star Wars films, but they're not my sort of first films that I have to go to. Sort of Marvel films are the ones I have to go to first,
I mean, yeah. I'm all about that too. So both of I'm excited for the Disney Plus Marvel series to launch. The WandaVision and
Yes.
Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm looking forward to that stuff too.
Yes, I am too. Definitely. Yeah, that's the only reason I signed, because we've got a mobile phone network over here called O2.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically they were giving away 6 months free Disney Plus. So I signed up. We were sort of at the case that we were getting a new phone anyway.
Right.
So I purposely did it there and then so I could get the 6 months free. And now I'm paying for it, but it's fine because it's like £6 a month. It's
Yeah, they did some deal here when they first released or unleashed Disney Plus onto the world. They did a thing where it's like you sign up for 3 years,
yeah.
and you get it locked in at like $4 a month. So I just went ahead and did that. So I'm locked in for 3 years at least.
Yeah, well, I think that's worth it though. You do save some money.
Yeah, I think because now it's like $8 or $10 to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it will only go up.
Yeah.
Come on. That mouse likes to have money in its pocket, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's got all the money in his pocket.
He has, yeah. Especially now he's closed the park, so he hasn't got to pay people's wages.
Exactly. They're probably saving money by not running those parks.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So, well, that's good to hear that lockdown hasn't really affected you. Has it affected Tracy or Colton at all?
Tracy. I mean, Tracy's a real estate agent, and she's actually had the best year she's ever had, which is shocking because you can't, as a real estate agent, you usually get most of your clients doing open houses when you have a property and you can sit there and have people come in and look at the property. They're not only trying to sell that property, you're trying to take them on as a client, as a buyer, so you can take them to other places and help them buy. That's how you expand your business, by having open houses. And you really can't have open houses in a pandemic. So it's, but she's had all these friends who've come out of the woodwork who have sort of had, I guess, pandemic safe sort of jobs. And with the interest rates being dropped so low, it's people have the money, and now's a good time to buy if you can. So people have been coming out of the woodworks buying. So she's been doing well.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, the only thing is, it's just you can't go anywhere. I guess that's the thing that's bothering all of us, because we like going down to Disneyland or going on just going to the mall or just anything where you're just out seeing and talking to other people. So that's the isolation's been the hard part for them.
Yeah, I can understand that. I quite like it in some ways though, that the fact, because I've been working from home since probably end of February.
Yeah.
And so like literally when it all started, because I'm type 2 diabetic, so so I was kind of a little bit worried about it all, really. So I wanted to kind of self-isolate myself before it all really blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since, nearly a year, I've been working from home basically. So, but to be honest, I really like it. So I sort of spent 6 months working in my boyfriend's flat, but I mean, he won't mind me saying, because I've sort of moaned about it before on the podcast, but it's like a studio flat or studio apartment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of pretty much all one room, and being in there 24 hours a day just kind of got me a bit stir crazy. So
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So at the moment, I've returned home for the last sort of, I think it's about 2 months now. And it's so nice. Like my computer is all set up in my bedroom, so I've only got like 5 footsteps until I'm at work, kind of thing. And
that's the dream.
Yeah, and I've been working in my pajamas today as well. So,
sounds like the rest of the world.
Yeah, exactly. But it's quite nice to be able to sort of open a door and go into the kitchen, and it's a lot more space. So, but yeah, to be honest, I'm one of those people that can I can work with people or I can work on my own, and I prefer the working on my own part because I've only got my own stresses to deal with, not other people's. So
my line of work, I have to work with somebody else, so I don't get that. I don't get that opportunity to be alone.
No, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? At least you got your podcast, and you enjoy that though, don't you? So
yeah, it's been fun. I mean, like I said, my life hasn't changed much. I still get to go and hang out with couple of my favorite people in the world, and we get to do shows. And I had my other show, Swings and Misses, with my friend Jen and Cody, and that came to an end in October, and we had a great run there for like a year, and so that was fun to do. And we may try to find someplace else to put that show in the future, but it's 2020 has had its ups and downs. It's been a crappy year for most people, but luckily I've been one of the people that's sort of been able to weather the storm a little bit, and it hasn't been too bad.
Yeah, well, that's really good. Can I ask what actually happened with Swings and Misses at all?
I believe, from my understanding, it was just sort of like they were making cutbacks because of the pandemic and stuff. So the company itself was just sort of like trimming down a lot. They were going through anyway and like sort of cutting down some radio station stuff, and we were just happened to be the next in line, I believe, from my understanding. It was just more of a financial sort of situation where I don't think the door's not completely shut there anyway, but I think financially right now it was just one of those decisions.
Yeah. Which is always a shame, though.
Yeah.
So I was sorry to hear that. I mean, because it was based pretty much sport related. I can't.
It was sports, but yeah, it was sports and sort of just pop culture stuff, and we just had we had fun with it. It wasn't a show where if you didn't know anything about sports, you could still tune in and still be entertained.
Oh. Well, I might have to go back and listen to them then, because I thought it was purely sports based, so that's why I didn't actually listen. But yeah, I can't stand sports.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people can't, which is shocking. But we used to say it was the spoonful of sugar that makes the sports go down. That was sort of we would come out of the show going, "Oh my God, now I know about baseball," but I had no interest before. That sort of thing.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I do like that phrase though. A spoonful of sugar that makes the sports go down. That's good.
That's what we were.
Yeah. So, on average, what's your day-to-day sort of life like?
Well, I mean, like when I had Swings and Misses, I would do that in the morning for 3 hours, and then I'd come home, grab lunch, and then I'd get a call from Ralph, and he'd tell me 4:00, and I'd get ready to head over there, and he'd text me again. He's like, 5:00. He would push me a couple it was always sort of fluid with him. It was either 4 or 5, 6:00, and then I'd just go over there and I'd record that show, and that would be my day, really. And then on Sundays, I'd record the Ramble with Jared. We'd sort of knock out the whole week because we were trying to limit exposure to each other during the pandemic. So we just sort of record for the week all in one day. Like all the shows we do for the Ramble, we just do all in one day on Sunday and then put them out.
Yeah.
So it was Sundays were usually pretty heavy. There was a lot of long podcasting days, but and for a while there, before the pandemic started, I was doing 22 hours a week of podcasting, like, because Swings and Misses was 3 hours, Ralph was 1 hour, the Ramble was, I think, 3 hours a week. So it was quite a bit of talking.
Yeah.
So it slowed down a little.
So one could say that you maybe enjoy podcasting?
It's weird because I remember when people started getting into podcasts, and I was just a comedian trying to be and doing acting gigs and stuff like that, because that's what I love doing is comedy, stand up, and acting. That's why I moved to Los Angeles to begin with when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And then people started doing this podcasting thing. I'm like, oh, I guess people are building audiences this way. So I would jump on other people's podcasts to be like a guest or whatever, do an interview or something like that. But I was like, I had no desire to do my own podcast because I don't know what to talk about for an hour. I didn't know. I knew going on stage and telling jokes, and I knew if I had a script, I could act the script, but I had no idea just to sit around and talk for an hour. And then I started doing a podcast with my buddy, Johnny LaQuasto, who for a while worked with World Wrestling Entertainment. And then also my friend Jen Sturger, who I did Swings and Misses with. We started a podcast back in 2012 or 13, just basically about wrestling, pro wrestling. So we would do that once a week. And that was my first foray into podcasting. And that ran for about a year. And I kind of dug it. And I was like, oh, this is fun. I get to sit around with my friends and talk. So that's basically what podcasting is. You just sit around and talk with your friends.
Yeah.
There's some light structure to it, but nothing really. And then that ended. And I was just, then Ralph approached me, in 2018 to do the Ralph Report. Around the same time, Jerry asked me to do the Ramble. And I just started doing both of those around the same time, and it's sort of been consistent ever since.
Yeah, it has.
But it was never anything I looked into doing. I never even thought about it. And people were like, you should start your own podcast. I'm like, well, I'm on 3 other ones. I don't know if I want to start my own too. So it just, but it's not. I don't know if it's something everyone wants. I guess now people are like, oh, I want to be a podcaster. I guess you get into it. But when I started, it was just sort of like, oh, this is just something else to do to try to help build an audience for other things that you're doing. It is a way to expand your audience as a stand-up comedian, or to get your name out there more, is to have something, because the whole goal now is to put up as much content as you can on a weekly basis. It's all about content. So if you can get up a podcast a couple times a week, then that's content you're putting up. You're out there, you're working, and stuff could happen. So that's where it came from. But now it seems to be an actual livelihood, which is shocking to me.
Yeah, which, to be honest, I mean, wish I could make a livelihood out of it as well. No, my day-to-day life is inputting data, so it's ever so exciting. Well, not inputting data, it's processing orders, but still, it's data processing, you know. But yeah, if I could make a living out of doing this, I definitely would.
It was fun. I mean, like, once Swings and Misses was a big chunk of my income doing it. Now that that's gone, I make some money off the Ralph Report, but it's not, I have a wife and a kid and she has a job. So we're able to maintain what's happening right now, but I do need to find another way to monetize something in the near future. But yeah, I never got, in my wildest dreams, I never thought I'd make money doing podcasts.
No, exactly. But, it's good. It's good that you're obviously, it's obvious that you do enjoy it as well, because it kind of comes across on both, because I listen to you on the Ramble and also the Ralph Report. It really comes across, that you seem like you're really having a good time.
Well, I guess, again, that comes down to doing it with people that you like doing it with. Like, I love hanging out with Ralph. I love hanging out with Jerry, and we just make each other laugh and we have a good time. So that it's not work,
Yeah, and that's kind of the basis of why I started it, really, to sort of, initially it was to kind of give other people a voice as well.
Yeah.
So, to sort of interview people like obviously yourself, or quite early on I had Ralph on, which was, still blows my mind that episode 5 I managed to get him on. But, it's kind of, but it was also like giving friends a voice as well. So it wasn't just about the, like the high ticket people sort of thing. I love talking to anybody. I really do enjoy talking to people.
Yeah.
And, it's like, if you can do that and you can be quite entertaining about it, then that's good. But I also am really glad that I brought, James on and, Andy for a point, but Andy's work just blew up and went crazy. So he had to leave. Yeah. But, it's nice that consistently now that me and James can kind of get together and record an episode, and just have a good old giggle and a laugh with it. So
right, and that's the whole point of this whole thing.
Yeah,
is just to have a laugh.
Yes, exactly. Well, I don't know if you want to join me on my segment that we have, which is called "What a Load of Codswallop." Basically, it's a moment or two where we can have a little rant and rave about something that's kind of really annoyed you.
Okay.
Have you got anything that would spring to mind, or do you want me to say mine first?
You do yours. Let me see if I can think of something.
Okay, if you can't think of anything, that's absolutely fine, but
I'm sure I can think of something that annoys me outside of homeschooling.
Yes. I mean, it can just be that if you want it to be, but... So basically today, I was driving along and there was a man at the side of the road and he was no further than 5 footsteps away from, I'm trying to think what you would call it. Well, we call it as traffic lights. So, when you've got the crossing.
Oh yeah, that's what we call it. Yeah, we have a little white man. Our guy's white, and then we have a red hand.
Okay. So we have a red man and a green man. So he was all of 5 footsteps away from that, but he was trying to cross the road in front of them. So it's like literally just before. So people are kind of aware, like when you're driving, you're kind of aware of your surroundings. You're waiting for maybe the lights to change. The schools have just come out as well. So you're kind of all thinking, because the schools here are all open now.
Yeah.
So you're aware of all these things. And then you've got this bloody bellend who's, which is one of my favourite words, by the way. He was crossing the street, literally 5 footsteps in front of the traffic lights, basically. And it's just like, oh man, sometimes you just think to yourself, would it hurt anybody if I just accidentally clip the curb right now?
Sometimes you just wish you were rich enough where you could do these things and make the problems go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I was rich enough, I could clip this dude, throw him a check, and it could go away.
Exactly. Yeah,
because we have these people, because I live on this crowded street, and like you're driving up and down the street or whatever to get to my apartment building. And people sit there with their car and they'll open their car door all the way up. Ugh. Like they'll open it all the way and then they'll just sit in their car and they're looking at their cell phone while their car door is all the way open before they get out of the car. And they're sitting there for like 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm driving and I just want so badly to take their car door off with my car.
That sounds like a codswallop, Eddie.
I wish I was rich enough where I could just do that and then throw the dude a check and then go about my business.
Yeah.
Just for one, to teach him a lesson, and two, to get the anger out of me.
Oh, that does sound like a good plan. I really wish that was the case now. Like, if I win the lottery, I'm doing it.
Just need the money.
Yeah. And I also had a funny but slightly embarrassing thing happen today as well. So we'll go on to, like, if you've got another codswallop or whatever in a minute. But so I was wearing my mask because I was a good girl and I went into a shop.
Nice.
We've got a coffee company over here called Costa. I don't think it's made it across the pond.
No.
But it's like Starbucks kind of thing. So you know Starbucks, don't you?
Yeah.
But nicer coffee in my opinion. But there you go. That's my opinion. But so anyway, where I was at a petrol station, just picking up a coffee. It was from one of the machines kind of thing.
Yeah.
And as I was walking out, it was actually a hot chocolate and it was kind of dribbling out very slightly. I forgot I had my mask on. So I went to lick it. And I ended up actually doing it and like getting all brown stuff on my mask. Oh, I'm so stupid sometimes, but it really does make me laugh. Like, I love how stupid I can be sometimes because it makes me cry with laughter. But yeah, that's how much I wear the mask now. That it's become part of me.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good thing.
Oh, actually, the other day as well, you know when you get like a plastic bag?
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to kind of lick your fingers to kind of open it.
Yeah, I was at the grocery store literally last night trying to get one of those plastic bags I was trying to get some peppers for Colton, and I was trying to, I couldn't open the thing up, and I had to literally, I didn't want to pull my mask down the middle of the store and lick my fingers to do it. So I was literally walking around the produce section, touching the other produce because it's kind of wet from when they spray it. Yeah. So this is probably worse than me licking my fingers because now people are looking at me just touching all the produce to try to get my hands wet so I can open the bag up. So that was probably, I should have just licked my fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tried to with the mask on, but then I was like,
See, I caught myself because I raised my hand up to do it. I'm like, I have a mask. And then like, should I pull it down and lick my fingers? I'm like, no. Oh, that ear of corn over there looks like it's glistening. Let me go touch it. So I can get my fingers wet so I can open this stupid bag. And now I got to buy the ear of corn because I touched it, even though I didn't want corn. It's just a nightmare.
Oh, did you at least enjoy the corn?
It's in my fridge right now. I haven't eaten it. I'll probably eat it.
Good. Because corn is one of the things that you do enjoy, isn't it?
I do love corn. Yeah. Raw corn is really good. I actually got Ralph to like that.
Yes, I remember. Yes, and I remember you shucking it as well, and I was like,
It's quite the sight to watch me shuck corn.
Yes. Is he being seductive on camera, or... Yeah, we got years of practice doing that.
Yeah, I can do it with both hands.
Woo! So I took us on a little sidetrack there, but did you have any codswallop at all?
Now, when you say codswallop, you're talking like it's something that pisses you off that someone else is doing, right?
Yes,
that's what we're talking.
Yeah. So
okay, so I live near this hiking trail called Runyon Canyon. It's very popular in Los Angeles, and even during this pandemic, it's crowded every day when people are hiking up there. And I used to hike it almost every day before this, shit show happened. And I'd be up there with my wife, and we're hiking up there, and it's sort of a place to sort of get away from LA because you go up there and you're sort of it's just this park in the middle of Los Angeles where you hike up this mountain and you feel like outside of the city. You feel like you don't feel any of the stress of living in a city. There's outside of seeing the people. And then on some days it's kind of not too crowded and you can get away and you really feel a little isolated from Los Angeles, which is a nice feeling to sort of decompress from.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you'll go and you'll hike up this mountain and you'll get this great view of the city. The air is cleaner and you'll just sit there, you're relaxing. And then you'll have these other people that are hiking, and it's fine to have other people hiking. We're all trying to get a little break from life, but you have these certain people that they'll have a backpack, and they'll attach to their backpack. They'll have this speaker, like a Bluetooth speaker, one of those little tiny speakers that you would just sit in your house and play music off your phone.
Yeah. But
they're blasting music as they're hiking because they want to hear music while they're hiking. But now the whole park has to hear their god awful music.
Oh God. Oh, that's
And I'm just like, buy goddamn headphones. Just everyone, the headphones come with your phone. Just use the headphones with your phone. But they're blasting their awful music, and everyone in the park has to hear it until they've walked out of sight, and it just ruins everything.
yeah.
It ruins the entire vibe, the entire feeling everyone has up there of just tranquility and peacefulness. And yeah, you have to hear Taylor Swift or whatever song they're listening to being blasted. It drives me nuts. I'm just like, who does that? Who is so in love with their music that they just think everybody needs to hear it?
Yeah, it's definitely.
Awful.
I think I've probably made you aware of it before, but I'm quite into sort of heavy metal and rock music.
Yeah,
But
I love Iron Maiden. I would not blast Iron Maiden I would not blast "Run to the Hills" as I'm hiking up Runyon Canyon so everyone can hear it, because I know that's not everybody's jam. I get that. I'll put headphones on if I want to. If I want to hear fucking The Wicker Man, I will put headphones on and deal with it myself. I don't need to subject everyone else to Iron Maiden. I get that.
yeah, exactly. Although it would be quite ironic to play Run to the Hills while you were climbing up a
Yes, it
hill.
would be.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good.
But fuck, oh, it's just so like it drives me. That drives me. I just want to grab the speaker and just chuck it as far as like it just drives me nuts. Because I get it, if you're in your car and you're blasting your music, fine.
Yep.
You're in your car and I can hear it at the stop sign, but you're gone. But when you're hiking up there and you're just blasting it through a canyon, it's the most obnoxious Los Angeles thing you could possibly do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not cool at all. It's just completely unnecessary, like you're saying, basically, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah, we're all up there trying to get away.
Yeah.
Like, don't bring that crap up
just
here.
enjoy the peace and quiet for a few minutes, It's just the whole purpose of the reason why that person's probably walking up there. And maybe fitness, but, still.
Yep.
Yeah. Stupid people. Well, that can definitely go in the codswallop pile, okay?
Thanks. Good to get it off my chest. I knew I had one.
Yeah, and sort of like Codswallop, I think we sort of addressed this before, because I did listen back to the previous episode that you were on, and although it helped, it kind of like ruined it in a way, because I was like, oh no, we covered quite a lot of stuff. Codswallop kind of means like rubbish or shit, so it's,
Right.
whichever version you want it to be, kind of thing. So yeah, so that's why we get the what a load of crap, basically. But yeah, I love that segment because it always does help to sort of get the negativity out there,
Yeah.
and have a bit of a laugh about it as well. So with regards to music, when was it that you first got into heavy metal and rock?
I think I got in. Like, this is weird. We actually talked about this on the Ramble one time because we were talking. It was after Eddie Van Halen had passed away.
Yeah.
And I remember the Thriller album. He played a guitar solo. He played the guitar solo on "Beat It."
Yeah.
On Michael Jackson's "Beat It." And that was the first time I'd heard Eddie Van Halen play the guitar. I heard any sort of guitar riffs like that. And I was like, because I loved Michael Jackson when I was a kid. And I was like, I heard that song. I was like, oh, that sounds good. And I found it was Eddie Van Halen. He's got this band called Van Halen. So then I got the album 1984 by Van Halen. And I was like, this is amazing. I fell in. That was sort of my transition from like top 40s, like whatever you hear on the radio, sort of Michael Jackson song, into Van Halen, which led me into more hard rock stuff. AC/DC got me farther into like, and then I got Iron Maiden. My buddy from when I was in elementary school, he had an older brother who diehard Iron Maiden fan. I remember I had a sleepover at his house, and he introduced me to Iron Maiden. I was probably in 6th or 7th grade. I was probably around the age my son is right now. And I just fell in love with the Killers album and Number of the Beast. And I got into Iron Maiden that way. And that got me into like Motley Crue and Rat and Megadeth and Metallica. And it just sort of went down that hole, I guess. And that's how I got into heavy metal. And, I've always loved other types of music, but I really got into heavy metal for like those 4 or 5 years. And it's always stuck with me.
That's really interesting because I was probably about 14, I'd say. I was either 13, 14. I can't ever remember exactly, but that was when I started getting into like heavy metal. It's kind of like indie music kind of took me that way.
Yeah.
Initially, so it was kind of the gateway into it.
It's weird. Like mine was Michael Jackson, yours was indie music. It's just weird how you find different avenues to get to it because it's a great form of music that I think a lot of people don't appreciate.
No, exactly. And I think, because like when you look at like the kind of music that's out there at the moment, this has actually got a rhythm, a soul and a beat to it sort of thing. Whereas it's all manufactured, kind of the pop music that's out there at the moment. And
there's not a lot of soul in it. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of people making it. It's a lot of machines and computers making this music. Whereas heavy metal it's sort of the natural progression to from rock and roll into heavy metal, I think.
Yeah, and it's always interesting because I actually watched a program. Actually, off the top of my head, I can't remember what it was called now, but it was basically a documentary about heavy metal and like where it all started from. It was like, it all started like from, I think, Beethoven.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, Iron Maiden is rock opera. I mean, if you look at the shows they put on, the songs they sing, I mean, there's so much history in their music. Like you can learn so much. It tells a story. It's opera.
Yeah.
It's rock opera.
Yeah. I also sort of found goth metal and stuff like that as well. It was kind of, there was so many different avenues within the
you have like the Anthrax and stuff like that, where it's a little more. It's it's the subsects of heavy metal music.
Yeah, exactly. Do you like a band called Tool?
I've listened to Tool.
Yeah, because I really like them because it's kind of like they're so experimental that they'll use thunder and lightning as I just love it. I think honestly, I could talk about music all the time basically, but I'll try not to. But but then it's also quite funny how your interests change as well, because one of the first bands or one of the first artists that I liked when I was like 13, 14 was Marilyn Manson.
Okay.
Yeah. Nowadays, can't stand him. He's awful. It was also because I went to, we've got a couple of festivals over here, but one in particular is called Download Festival. Yeah, it's sort of in the Midlands, so you can kind of guess where that is in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was supposed to come on stage, but he was an hour late for his performance.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, ugh, no, I can't be asked. I just walked off.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. I can't remember who was on a different stage. I think it was actually a band called Skindred, which I really like as well.
I've never heard them.
Ah, okay. Try and check them out. It's,
I will.
Yeah.
Skindred,
yeah. They're kind of like, there's a slight Rastafarian side to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
If that makes sense. So,
yeah.
So it's, you might not pick up on it, but, I think Rastafarian when I hear it. So, yeah, let's check them out.
They have like a steel drum or something in there, or like, is it just
I think it's
that sort of feel?
Yeah, I think it's more like the lead singer's voice rather than the actual band itself. Okay. The band are quite heavy themselves, but the lead singer, but he's very, very good as well.
Okay.
So yes. I used to have I have still got it, but I used to have a scrapbook with all of my tickets in, because it was like a couple of years where I just went to every single gig that was out there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have a shoebox with all my movie ticket stubs when I used to go to movies, when that was a thing.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this scrapbook, I've put all the pictures of the artist behind the actual ticket and stuck the ticket on top, sort of.
Nice.
Thing. Yeah. So in the years to come, I can sort of remember who was who.
What live music was like.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Do you miss going to the cinema much?
Yeah, I've always been like a guy who would go to movies by himself. I'm that guy that sits in the movie theater by himself. I would just go if I was bored, or if I'm just driving home late at night from a gig or whatever. I just I haven't seen this movie. I'll just go. And I would do that like 2 or 3 times a week. I would just do that. And then once I had a kid, I stopped doing that as much. And then my kid got old enough to go to movies. We'd start going. So it was sort of a bonding experience I'd have with my kid. Him and myself would just go to movies. And I would look forward to like the new Marvel movies that would come out, or the Star Wars movies, because he wanted to see them, or sometimes he'd see a commercial on TV for a movie, and like, I want to see that. I'm like, all right, let's go see it. So he was getting into going and seeing movies, and so it was like a real bonding experience, like something we always did. We look forward to. We'd try to go like once or twice a month to a movie, and it hasn't. I mean, I really miss it, and he misses it too. And it was just that thing that we sort of had that it's kind of gone right now, and I can't wait for it to come back, because I really I love the theater experience.
Well, at least your TV's about the size of a theatre screen.
Yeah, it's
so.
true. I did. I definitely overcompensated with my 75-inch television.
Yeah, your room's only 50 inches, but you know.
Your wife sends you to Costco to get a 55-inch TV, and she doesn't go to supervise. You're going to come home with 75 inches. That's just how it works. There's no one there to stop me. I'm not going to stop.
Such a typical man thing to do. It's like they always see more inches that are there.
If it needs more, needs more.
Yeah. And also, yeah, it would be silly not to ask, how is the special coming along? I know you've obviously got it out there now. Well, did you want to sort of tell us a little bit about it? And
yeah, I released my first comedy special in September through Comedy Dynamics, completely crowdsourced, mostly through members of the Garmy, which are listeners to the Ralph Report, Ralph Garman's podcast that I co-host. I had a lot of crowdsourced funds come in from that, as well as other things other podcasts I was doing. So it was completely crowdsourced. We raised the money. I shot it in my hometown of Washington, D.C. back in April of 2019, which is a completely different world than it is today. And it took a little while to get it up, and now it got unleashed onto the world September 1st of this past year on Comedy Dynamics. So it's up on all transactional platforms like iTunes, Amazon, Apple TV, like wherever you can buy movies, you can buy my comedy special, and the album is also available too. I believe I was told through Comedy Dynamics, if you're an Amazon Prime member, I believe starting either in late December, early January, it will be available for free for Amazon Prime members. Right now, I'm in the process of getting hard copies made up of DVDs and CDs of the special. So those will be available probably through my website, I'm guessing, as soon as I get those from the company. I have a very limited supply of those, probably like 100 copies each right now. So if you're one of those people that still enjoys the physical media, then I will have those to order through my website probably at the beginning of the year.
yeah, because I quite like the physical media, to be honest, because it's...
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
It's like, it's quite nice to sort of hold something, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had more, but going through Comedy Dynamics, I sort of have to foot the bill to make the physical media myself. So I don't really have the funds to do it. So I made up the smallest amount I could right now. Yeah. Hopefully, once I start seeing some returns from the actual special being up on iTunes and Amazon and all that stuff, I'll have a little more money. I can maybe purchase some more physical copies, because I know some people want to buy it that way.
Yeah, well, that's good. And as somebody who's sort of seen the actual special, it is brilliant. It is fantastic, Eddie. So,
oh, thank you.
I really like the curtains and the shirt you're wearing as well.
Yeah, those are no longer mine. Those are back at Target and Nordstrom Rack.
Oh, really?
So.
What happened there then?
keep your receipts, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your receipts.
And that's what paid.
I had to put the money back. I had to put the money back into. I had to get the thing edited, so I had to return all that stuff to get money to edit the thing, to pay an editor, and now I need even more money to get physical copies made. So I'm trying to figure a scam out how to make what I can do to get money to make those.
Start another GoFundMe or whatever, Indiegogo.
I might.
Yeah.
It's all to try. You try to make money just to put it back into your business, to make more money to put back into your business. That's the con.
Yeah, exactly.
Of trying to be an entertainer.
Do you know what you should have done? You should have like signed the collar or something, or signed the label.
Somebody gets down. What the hell is this?
Yeah. Who the fuck is Eddie Pence? And I only say that because I know you'd laugh, so not in a disrespectful way.
No,
yeah.
none taken.
No.
None taken.
Yeah. But no, it was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it.
So you should be. Yeah. And it's nice that you did it in your hometown as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely a dream come true. And then for it to be completely funded by people that support me and actually think I'm funny, then that makes it even more worthwhile, Yeah. Or me putting my own money into it, because I didn't have the money to do that, but it was actually people like, no, we love what you do. We want to see more of it. Here's some money. Go make what you want to make. And so that was the coolest part of the whole thing.
Yeah, it was truly like supported by people who really love you. Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's not wasted on me at all. No. It brings me to tears when I think about it.
Oh, bless you. But no, it is so nice. It is so nice. I expect that you probably went really expecting the outpouring.
I was not. We set it at $10,000 for the crowdsourcing for the Indiegogo. I was like, I thought maybe I could get $5,000, maybe. And so we set the limit at 10,000, and we're trying to do it super low budget, even to the point where like we talked about just shooting it on a couple of our iPhones because we didn't know what we could do. I just wanted to shoot something and see if I could get any money to pay the people that were helping me do it. And we ended up raising $15,000, which blew my mind. And even then, we were still we probably needed $20,000 to do it because it's so expensive to try to shoot something on that scale, and then to do it on the East Coast of the United States as opposed to doing it where I am. I had to fly the crew there and put them up and feed them. So like a lot of money went to taking care of those people. So I would have loved to. I mean, if I had $20,000, another $5,000, I could have, paid them paid them what they were worth instead of like, hey, will you mind doing it for this?
Yeah.
So it was weird. It's like I originally thought I could raise 5,000. We thought we could do it for 10. We got 15, but we really needed 20. So it's weird. It's a weird thing, but I think we squeezed every dime out of it we could, and I think we put up a pretty good project that I think most people are proud of that worked on it.
Which is the absolute main thing, isn't it? And I know it's your hometown, but why did you choose Washington in that case then?
I could have done it in Los Angeles, and it probably would have been easier and cheaper to do, but I had those dates at that comedy club anyway. I was going to go back east and record and just do a weekend there anyway, just out of normal work schedule. And I was like, you know what? It would be kind of fun to go back to my hometown after 20 years and sort of do a special in front of like some friends and family I haven't seen in a while. And it was great. I had people came that I went to high school with and college with that I literally had not seen since I graduated high school came to the show. And it was fun to do that. And I thought it'd be a little more unique experience to shoot some stuff out, in the city, shoot the Capitol building, the Washington Monument, put that as sort of the introduction to the special. Instead of doing something around LA, because everybody sees LA, people shoot specials in LA all the time. It's, there's nothing unique about Los Angeles anymore. It's sort of like everyone's here, everyone shoots stuff here. So I kind of wanted I have those dates. If I can raise the money and fly the people out and we can shoot it there, why not try to do something just, something a little more unique than going down here to the Melrose Improv and shooting it here, that was it.
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. And you're right there, because it's like, I almost feel like I know all of LA and I've never been.
Yeah.
It's
just been it's so overshot and so overdone. I love Los Angeles. I love it. It's my hometown now. I've been here for 24 years and I love it here, but it's been so shot. It's been so done. So I was like, let me just do something that's not normal. It's my first special. Let me go back home and do it. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. And talking about Washington,
yes,
there is one of my friends who she didn't ask a question because we got some listener questions, as you know.
Okay. Yes.
But my friend Melissa, she's from the Brooke Reading podcast, and I always want to call her Brooke, but her name's Melissa, so we know each other through like a podcasting network, but she's still a really good friend. She'd love to hear you talk about the Washington not Redskins, football club.
The football team?
Yeah. So you had a good win this weekend, didn't you?
We did. We beat Dallas. We beat our arch rivals, our arch nemesis, the Dallas Cowboys. My co-host on the Ramble, Jerry Rocha, his favorite football team.
Yeah.
So we got to beat them, and it's weird because every Thanksgiving that they're scheduled to play, it ruins Thanksgiving for me because they're literally like the worst team on Thanksgiving Day when they play the games. It's not every year you don't play on Thanksgiving here in the NFL. It's the only teams that play are the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. They have their Thanksgiving Day games. Everyone else, it's sort of like, oh, you got the Thanksgiving Day game this year. So we hadn't played in that game, I think, since 2016, I want to say. And we always lose to Dallas. I think we were 1-8 against Dallas on Thanksgiving Day games. So it's just like, it just ruins my Thanksgiving every time they play on Thanksgiving because I'm nervous the whole day because they're going to play and then they lose. So I'm in a bad mood and then I have to eat turkey. So it was great this year because they won. It was amazing. It was such a great, and no one thought they were going to win. They're a terrible team. The whole division is terrible. Dallas, Washington, New York, Ralph Garman's Philadelphia Eagles. They're all terrible. It's an awful division. No one's going to get into if one team has to go to the playoffs by the rules, and then that team is going to lose in the first round. So it was fun to sort of like in this awful year, this terrible pandemic, this awful football. There's no fans in the stands. You can't see any friends we barely saw any family, to actually have my football team win that Thanksgiving Day game. It was just sort of like the icing on the cake of having like a good Thanksgiving. Just like it made everything just so much. It made the food taste better. It made everything. And then we had the Mandalorian premiere that night, and Ahsoka Tano was on Mandalorian. So I was like, this is the best Thanksgiving ever. This is amazing. So yes, tell Melissa it was great to see the Washington football team win that game.
Yeah, because she's a supporter as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
I like Melissa.
Yeah. She used to listen to the Ralph Report, so she said also that she misses listening to you two talking. I'm not sure if it's like due to like financial reasons or or the fact she might not have time or whatever, but she it's definitely not because she doesn't like the show anymore, but she really misses sort of listening to you guys chatting in a way, and especially the Munchin Monday, which this week, unfortunately, you had something you liked, didn't you? So
yeah, Ralph hooked me up. He gave me plantains. I never had them before, so I didn't know if I was going to like them, but they sounded like they would be good.
Yeah.
And I ate them, and they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, I've never had them either, so
not bad.
No. Well, that's good. It's one thing that I really hate, and it's in everything. It's garlic. I can't stand garlic because it always makes my stomach a bit sore as well. So
yeah, some people are like I guess they're a little allergic to garlic. It kind of tears them up a little bit.
Yeah. It makes me. Yeah, I won't go into details, but it doesn't make me feel.
No, it's weird because Tracy is like, we thought Tracy was allergic to garlic, right? Because we'd go out to restaurants or whatever, and we'd order Thai food or whatever had garlic in it from a restaurant. She would eat it, and then it would tear her stomach up.
Yeah.
And then like it would like leak out of her pores. Like she would literally smell like garlic.
Yeah.
Like as she slept, she would like sweat it out and the whole room would smell like garlic. It was awful.
Yeah.
But it's weird. During the pandemic, she started cooking at home. We started cooking at home a lot. And she started just like buying garlic at the store and putting in fresh ingredients and making her own recipes. And she hasn't had that reaction to garlic at all.
Oh.
So I don't know what it is with the processed store, like restaurant grade garlic they use or whatever oils or whatever they cook the garlic in at the restaurants, but that is what seems to be the problem with her, and not the actual just a clove of garlic you buy at a grocery store and put into your food. It's very weird.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, I don't like smelly food, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, so like onion and stuff like that. I don't mind cooked onions, but I don't like raw onions.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same on that.
Well, I know your food tastes anyway, so
it's not shocking.
It's not a shock, no. But yeah, I get that. It's like, nah. Like I said, we've got either listener questions or would you like to do would you rathers first?
What? I guess you'll do questions and then would you rather, I guess?
Yep, no problem. We'll do it that way. Okay, so Tim Dawson.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah, he's a rambler as well.
Yes.
He is, and he's a codswalloper. He's the popper of the codswallop cherry. So we asked for listener codswallop, and he was the first person to submit it. So yeah, he holds the title well.
Nice.
He has 2 questions. So how does your family feel about the fan base? Is it overwhelming, or do they like the idiots?
My family, Tracy and Colton, love it. Like they think it's the greatest thing. Like I think they appreciate. I don't know how to feel about it because I'm weirded out that people like me. Because I just like, what do you like about me? I don't get it. What's so nice? But they love it. I don't get me wrong. I appreciate everyone who supports me. It's just it's my own like self-doubt and my own problems where I'm like, why do you like me? Why? What? How I make you laugh? How do I make you laugh? So that's my own self issues, but they love it. And Colton, it's hilarious with Colton because Colton thinks his dad is like famous. And he like really, he enjoys it. And he loves it when when people like, some of the idiots are so nice. They send us gifts all the time. Like I just got Bridget from Long Island sent me, she's a Ralph Report listener. She sent me this nice, like this Kylo Ren painting or picture for the holidays. And then I had a listener in Australia, Kim. She sent me like all these different chocolates and all these sweets from Australia just to get me to try them. And so we had like this big box of like Australian foods. And we had another listener, Nanette, she sent Colton a Lego. Like we get stuff all the time. People are so kind to us, and like I feel weird about. I'm like, why are you sending me stuff? Because like I guess I don't realize that people listen to me every single day. I'm in these people's life every single day, so I'm a part of their life, and to me that doesn't always register. I'm like, it's weird. Like I guess I'm a bigger part of their lives than I think I am, and so I don't realize that. And so when I do get people like complimenting me and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay. It's just hard for me to take a compliment. That's my own thing. But they love it. They adore it. They think it's the greatest thing because Tracy's been with me on this whole journey. Like I've been trying to be successful in the entertainment business for 20 plus years, and she's seen the ups and downs, and she's just so happy that people are finally starting to, I guess, recognize me or whatever, or just appreciate what I've been doing for so long. And she thinks it's the greatest thing, and she loves getting. People gave her we had one listener, John, gave us a wine glass that said "Queen of the Idiots" on the wine glass. It was like etched on the wine glass. That's her favorite thing, and it's just it means so much to all of us that people care about us like that, and to give us things, to actually take the time out and mail. I mean, Kim mailed us a box like it had to be like a 10-pound box of chocolates from Australia. That had to be expensive. That had to be a lot of money to do that.
Yeah.
And for people to go out of their way to do something like that, it's just so cool. And I love it. And I trust me, not for a minute do I take it for granted.
That is so sweet. Yeah, you do have a big impact on people. Whichever way people found out about you. Me personally, it was because of Ralph Report.
Yeah.
And, like that really opened the door to kind of like how people could find out about you. And then like through, I know it's kind of some stalkery, I guess, but Google searches, they found out, like, oh, does stand-up comedy or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they can kind of follow the path that you've been on in a way.
Yeah.
That sounds really creepy, doesn't it? But I didn't mean it creepy.
But that's the world we live in. We're a Google search world. Yeah. So like everything you do is up there. And like, I know that because I wanted to be in entertainment. So I know my life is going to be up there. And I don't know. It's always weird for me that people like me. Like it's almost that Sally Field acceptance speech at the Oscars. You like me. You really like me. Like I feel like that all the time. Like, oh, you do like me. You think I'm funny. This is great. And
yeah,
I guess like I said, I'm part of their lives most of the time, 5 days a week. And I hope I give people a little reprieve from the world. That Ralph and I can sort of give everybody that little bit of, the world's not always great, and especially right now, it seems like it's on fire. But like if you can tune out for an hour a day and sort of just get a break from it all, I guess that's, we're part of that. So that's a good thing. That's a healthy thing. So
yeah, definitely. I think 9 times a week, sorry, in mine, because I listen to the Ralph Report and then I'm like, oh, on the Ramble. And to be honest, I'm a little bit behind on the Ramble because like I've got so many podcasts that I listen to or whatnot. But the other day I did like do a complete binge listen, but it was all kind of backwards. So it was really not the audio, but the listening to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, but still, it was and on Friday I was like, but I've just listened to Fridays. But no, I love Jerry as well, and Cody. The dynamic that the three of you have got is really great as well.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I think that's the important thing with podcasts. If you're having fun with who you're with, then the people listening are going to have fun too.
Yeah, exactly. And his other question is, if you were eaten by a giant sandwich monster, what filling would it have to be?
Okay, so if a giant sandwich monster ate me.
Yeah.
Turkey, probably. If I could be eaten by sandwich, I'd want to be eaten by a turkey sandwich.
Okay, fair enough. Is there going to be any sort of garnish or anything like that in there, or
maybe some lettuce? Throw some lettuce on there, and then maybe either some mustard or some mayo, just to sort of, take away the dryness.
Yeah.
That way I can eat myself out of the monster.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Okay, so Owen Edmonds.
Hey, Owen.
Yeah, so again, Ramble and the Ralph Report as well. So he's got 3. So
okay,
what's the worst pet that you can imagine having? Not like a lion, I mean a traditional pet type animals.
Well, I think we had fish for a while. Like for 15 years we had like a fish tank, and I got a fish tank probably like right after Trace and I got married. I was like, oh, it'd be fun to have a fish tank. And then I got a fish tank, and filled it up, got fish, and we just turned it on. I'm just, as soon as we bought all the stuff for it, we sat it there and we just stared at it. I'm like, this is stupid. This is dumb. Like, it's this, like a dog or a cat, they give you a little something. You can snuggle them, you can hold them. They're excited when you come home. But like the fish tank just sat there, and the fish just sat there, and then they would swim around and you'd feed them, and then they would die, and then you just spend $3 and buy more fish, and then put them in there, and they would swim around, and then you'd wake up one morning and they're all floating at the top. You're like, what happened? You have to test the water. And he's like, oh my God, it's too acidic, or there's too much pH or whatever. And then like, you got to put stuff in it to bring down the acidity or whatever. And then you got to buy more fish. And then there's fish shit all over the bottom, and you got to get a little vacuum cleaner thing that sucks up the fish shit, but on all the rocks. And then you got to clean the back of the thing. And then like this crusty film forms around the top part of it. It's just a fucking nightmare. Fish are just, it's awful. And then Tracy just would not want to get rid of it, because I was like, we have to get rid of these fish. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And then she was like, well, we can't just get rid of them. I'm like, why not? And she's like, well, they're alive. I'm like, they're fish. It costs $3 to fill up this tank full of fish, and they don't care about us. They don't care about anything. And they're just swimming around here. And then when one of them dies, the other one eats it. Like they're awful. They're terrible things. I don't know why we have them. And she just would not. We literally had to wait for all of them to die. And then I had to, like, basically in the middle of the night, take the fish tank out while she was sleeping, so she wouldn't be a part of me getting rid of the fish tank. It was a nightmare. And to this day, I'm like, why do people have fucking fish? I don't get it. It's just there's no point to fish. So that would be the worst pet that you could have. And that's the pet that I had.
Okay. Yeah.
Fucking fish.
Fuck fish.
The worst. Fuck fish. So stupid.
You're absolutely correct there, because they are such a pointless animal to have.
Pointless. So pointless.
Yeah. His next question is, worst holiday destination?
I'm not. This is weird, because my parents live in Myrtle Beach, and we've talked about that on the Ralph Report. Like, I hate the beach. I do not enjoy the beach. If I have to go to a vacation, I'd rather go to like a national park, like mountains and trees and forest. Like, to me, that's what's beautiful. Like, that stuff's beautiful. I don't like the beach. I don't like the smell of the beach. I don't like sand. I don't like palm tree. Like, I don't like any of that stuff. But I go there every summer because that's where my parents live. And then we live in Los Angeles, which is like 10 miles from the beach. Tracy loves the beach. Colton loves the beach. So I got to take them to the beach. And I just sit there on the beach. I'm just like, everyone loves this but me. Everyone here loves this but me.
Yeah.
So I guess the beach. I just don't like the beach. I don't like anything about the beach. You know what? I don't mind if I could sit in the parking lot like 20 feet from the beach and just look at the beach. I'm okay with that. But actually being in the beach, in the water, in the sand, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate it.
And it's the two combinations of the fact that the water and the sand, they really don't mix, do they? Because it's like...
No, they don't.
Yeah, you go into the water, come out, and then you're like covered in sand, like head to foot.
Covered in it. And then you can't get it off. And then you're finding sand in your shoes like 3 weeks later. It's just a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Or you have your packed lunch on the beach and everything tastes like sand. I just got the shivers.
Awful.
I actually just got shivers because I thought about biting down on a sandy sandwich.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You know, gritty in your mouth, and then everything either smells like low tide or Malibu
sun cream,
suntan lotion. Yeah. It's just I hate it. Hate it.
So we won't be sending you to the beach then.
No, please don't.
I'm going to need some assistance with this person's name. Is it Janet Gears from Iron Maiden?
Janet. Oh yeah.
Yeah? Is that right then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Should Janet Gears be thrown out of Iron Maiden? And why is the answer yes? And why why is the reason for all of his stupid prancing on stage?
Like I said, it's rock opera. It's a theatrical performance. So no, don't throw him out. It's fine. Okay. Let them all dance. Let them be them.
Well, he told you the answer was yes. So
yes, he obviously doesn't like him. So.
No. So Midnight Smoke.
Okay.
Yeah, Smokey. He's amazing. If you had a tail, what type would you like to have? A dog tail, a monkey tail? The sky's the limit.
I like the idea of having a monkey tail is fine because it's almost like an extra appendage, right? Like they can hang from their tails. So that one's probably But then you have to have specially made pants for that.
I mean, you would have to for any kind of tail, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I guess like a dog tail, you could just tape down to the side and just sort of like deal with it like you deal with your penis. But like a monkey tail, you can use it for things. So that's why I'm saying you need specially designed pants so you could actually have it and it could hold stuff. Probably a monkey tail.
Yeah.
Unless I was embarrassed by it, then like a pigtail. So it's just like a little tiny squirrely thing I could just tuck in my pants and no one would notice. I would get probably a monkey tail just because you could do shit with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a monkey tail, I mean, it's kind of like unfortunately going backwards in the whole scale of evolution, but
Yeah, but we're doing that anyway as a society, so
well, yeah,
we're devolving anyway.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, teenagers and Neanderthals anyway, aren't they? So
that's what tail to go with it.
Yeah. Next question is from Stephen Greening.
Hey, Stephen.
Yeah, who's feeling much, much better now.
That's good. Yeah, he had a bout with COVID, right?
He did, yeah, he did. He got me quite concerned at one point there.
Yeah.
Have you always been a picky person when it comes to food?
Yeah, pretty much. I've never been an adventurous food taster. I've always been pretty picky. I know growing up as a kid, I just had like 3 or 4 favorite things, and that's kind of what I would eat. My mom tried and tried to get me to try different things, and I would do it occasionally, but usually not. It's weird. Like, I just don't think about tasting food. Like, it's not something. I guess it's always been like that. I just like people like see pictures of food, like, ooh, I want to taste that. Like, I don't have that. Whatever that is in your brain, I don't have that. So it's just sort of like, okay. Like, I literally treat food like fuel. Like, if I'm hungry, I eat.
Yeah.
If I'm not hungry, I don't. Like, I'll eat a meal. And then Tracy will have a meal, and she's like, "Oh, this is so good, you got to try this." I'm like, "Eh." And she's like, "Try it." I'm like, "I'm full. I don't want to eat it." But you don't. She's like, "Yeah, but you're not trying it because you're hungry. You're trying. I want you to taste it, see if you like it." I'm like, "I don't want to put anything else in my mouth. I'm full. Like, I'm done." Like, it's like food is fuel to me, and it always has been. So I just never got that whole tasting thing.
Yeah,
I guess. So yes, I've always been a picky eater because I just look at food as like, I'm hungry. I need to eat that so I can get this feeling away from me so I can go on with my day.
Yeah. Yeah, which is good. And I think in some ways that's what is good about Munching Monday, because although I know sometimes it's horrible for you, but,
yeah.
At least it is giving you that chance to sort of try new things.
It does. I try things. Like plantains we tried this past Munching Monday, and I liked it. I don't think I'll ever order one. I don't think I'll ever be at a restaurant like, oh, let me get some plantains. Like, I don't like, I'm expanding my palate to, I guess, to try these things so I know what they taste like. But it's not like to the point where like, oh, I'm going to have that again. Like, I don't care about it that much.
Yeah.
Like, tasting doesn't matter that much to me.
Although if you have it again, you might be able to dip it in chocolate. So,
I wouldn't mind. I would like to try it dipped in chocolate. I would like that.
Yeah. So there you go. See, you have to order it now.
True. That's true.
Yeah. He also asks, what's your favorite collection item?
Gosh, I have so many. Right now I still collect Star Wars stuff. I've always collected Star Wars stuff since I was a kid. I have like all my old Star Wars toys at my parents' house, which someday if I ever get out of this apartment and I have a bigger home, I can actually bring that stuff out here and display it in my Bat Cave like Ralph does.
Yeah.
But right now I collect Star Wars Black Series figures, which are the 6-inch action figures, and then Marvel Legends, which are also the 6-inch action figures. So I collect those. If I see one that I like, I'll grab that. I would like to collect other things. I like collecting things. I've always been sort of a collector I've always had that hobby of collecting things that I like. And I would say Star Wars and Marvel are probably my 2 biggest things, where if I see something that I think would be cool in my collection, I'll grab that. The problem is I live in this apartment and I don't have room to collect anymore. So it's just sort of, it kind of sucked because I really would love I would really love an entire room where I could just put everything up and come in and look at it. But
yeah,
I don't live in that yet.
No, sadly not. No, I don't either. So I've got my bedroom. So it's got loads of Marvel things and Funko Pops and stuff like that. So, because I really like the Funko Pops, but I have to keep them all boxed up, sorry. So,
Yeah, no, I know the feeling.
Yeah, it might be worth something in the future, or if not, they're still protected, so that's fine.
Yeah. But you don't collect because it's worth stuff. You collect because you like it. And then if it happens to be worth something, you're like, awesome. But yeah, that's not the point of collecting for me anyway.
No, yeah, exactly. That's the same for me as well. I've told myself that I'm never allowed to read comics because I know that I will want every edition of everything. Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, it would get to a
I have
point
that.
where it was just ridiculous. So I've not allowed myself ever to read comics.
Oh, I've had to cut myself off. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of asked as well, do you ever get jealous of the Batcave that Ralph has?
I do. I really get jealous of that because it's not so much the Batman stuff in it. I mean, that's a cool collection, but Batman's never been my thing. Oh, but he has a very cool collection. But his old Batcave was very cool because he used to have a setup where it was sort of like, I think he did a tour on the Ralph Report one time where he had like this fake door, looked like a bookcase.
Yes.
So you walk down the hallway and there's a bookcase and you open it up and they had this whole Batcave in there. And so that was always really cool. And I was like, I wish I had a house where I had that room where I could just sort of set all my stuff up and get my stuff up. Like my parents' house, I have like all my old Transformers. I have my He-Man figures. I have my Star Wars stuff. And if I could just display all that stuff, I think it'd be really cool to have that space. And I do get jealous of that. That would be a really cool thing to have.
Yeah. And do you think that Tracy would allow it?
She would love for me to have my own room.
Aww.
Like she would because my stuff is sort of scattered throughout the house a little bit just because I like seeing my stuff. And, we try to strike that balance of like her having her stuff around and me having my stuff. And,
yeah.
She would love if I just had some like third bedroom off to the side where I could just put all my crap and then she wouldn't have to look at it and I could just go in there and live.
And it'd be like your office or whatever. Yeah.
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 Never come out. I would come out to eat food and I go back in.
And keep lots of tissues around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of tissues. Everything a man needs.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Graham Arnold asks.
Graham.
Yeah. There's a lot of names that are you recognizing a lot of names?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Does a hot dog count as a sandwich? And he follows on with also, does a sausage I can't say the word sausage very well. Sausage sandwich count as a hot dog?
Oh, see, like we talked about this on the Ralph Report, and I never put a lot of thought into it. Ralph just said a hot dog is a sandwich, and I just agreed with him. Like, I guess I would. It's meat and bread. That's a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it would. I know there's different views on this, but I would just assume a hot dog is a sandwich. And then I guess a sausage sandwich would also be considered a hot dog, right? But even, I don't know, the hot dog bun, the bread has to be connected on one end, right? And you set the bun on the bun. So if it's a sausage sandwich, that's more of like tradition. Whereas a hot dog bun with the bread split open and the meat laying in between it. So I guess they're all sandwiches. I'm just going to say it. They're all sandwiches. And I'm sure that's going to make 50% of the people mad, but I'm going to say it's a sandwich. Both are sandwiches.
Yep.
And a sausage sandwich is a hot dog.
Yeah. Well, if it makes 50% of people mad, they can voice their points and that's absolutely fine. So, but the question was asked to you and we wanted to know your opinion. So it's all good.
I would assume a hot dog is a sandwich and a sausage sandwich is a hot dog.
Yeah, I think so too. Ian Shaw said, Is it true that on the 20th of January, Eddie Harris, vice host-elect, takes over from him, even if he doesn't concede?
Yeah, I have no plans on conceding. I have some people looking into it right now. But yeah, I apparently have to change my name to Harris so I can stay the vice host of the Ralph Report. So. I have no plans to concede, though. We're still fighting the good fight.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, obviously you've had good news, haven't you, recently? That is that all still kind of going ahead, or is that
it's still it's a dumpster fire over here.
Yeah.
Joe Biden won the election, whether people like it or not. He got the votes. He got more votes than the other guy. The other guy does not like to lose, and so he is basically willing to burn down a democracy because he doesn't like to be called a loser. That's unfortunate that people are supporting that, and it's sad that you can't take a loss. Like, everyone grows up with loss. Every person should learn to lose, and if you don't know how to lose properly, then I don't think you know how to win properly, and I don't think you're a complete human being unless you know how to lose. You don't have to like losing. No one likes losing, but I think it's part of the human experience is to deal with loss, and for you to sit there and scream and pull your hair out and kick your heels up and down and be willing to destroy the foundation of what this country was built on, which was for the people, by the people, to burn that down because you don't like to be called a loser. That's pretty bad. And for anyone to support that in any way just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. I don't get it. So sorry to get all serious and political,
No,
but
that's
it's
all right.
it's the way this country is right now, and it's very disheartening to see someone that there's a large group of people that are willing to tear everything down to appease this guy and his fragile ego.
Yeah, and he's throwing his toys out of the pram sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does seem a bit like a shit show watching it from over here, to be honest, as well. So
yeah, it's a shit show. Look, 4 years ago, I wasn't happy. I did not support him. I still don't. But when it happened, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess we got to deal with this. You know what? In 4 years, let's get it back. And that's what you have to look at. Like, you just deal with it, and then you make the best of the situation. Mm-hmm. You're like, you're still going to wake up tomorrow, deal with it, and go on with your life. You don't have to love it, but that's the reality of the situation. He was the president for 4 years. People didn't like it. 80 million people voted to get him out. So you know what? If those people, that's 74 million that don't want him to go, you know what? Come back in 4 years and vote again. Get what you want. That's the way it works. You don't just discount people's votes. That's not how democracies function. That's not how society works. It's, just vote in 4 years and change it if you don't like it.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on. But that was all that's all right. But it was all very good points. So, It's like not taken away from anything you said or anything. But okay, so we got a Margot Schultz. Okay, who has asked, if you could live in any fictional universe, what would it be?
Ooh.
Star Wars.
Yeah, it might be Star Wars. Star Wars would seem pretty cool. If I was force sensitive. If I wasn't force sensitive, it'd be kind of shitty to live in that world because you'd be like, oh, fuck, why do those guys get it?
Yeah.
Probably Star Wars would be kind of cool to live in. I would like Star Wars or G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe universe, because no one dies. You can do anything you want in that universe, and no one dies. Everyone just survives. Like you jump out of your plane gets shot down, you have a parachute on. No one ever gets shot. It's so the G.I. Joe universe would be probably pretty good. There'd be no consequences there.
Yeah. So. Well, that seems like a good place to live. A pop culture junkie asks, top 3 favorite wrestling matches or storylines of all time.
Ooh, okay, that's a good one. I think one of the great all-time matches, I mean, everyone always says this, the Macho Man Ricky the Dragon Steamboat match from the Intercontinental title match from WrestleMania 3 is one of the all-time greats. It's an incredible match. So that's probably on the list. Another great one, and also, I think it was SummerSlam 92, Bret the Hitman Hart versus the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. That was a great match. And then one, not just because of how great the match was, because it wasn't really a terrific match, was the Undertaker Mankind Hell in a Cell match, just because of what Mick Foley did to himself. Just the way he threw himself off the top of that cage and then through the cage and everything he put himself through. It was I've never had that much fun watching a wrestling match as that match right there. I was literally screaming with my buddies in my parents' basement as we were watching that match, just going, I can't believe I'm watching a human being do this to themselves. It was dangerous and horrible, but at the same time, you could not take your eyes off the television. So probably those 3 are great. And then, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat had a great series of matches with Ric Flair in the late 80s, early 90s in the old NWA, WCW, territory or, wrestling promotion. So they had like 3 straight pay-per-view matches that were just insanely good. So it's hard to pick 3 matches because there's been some great matches in wrestling. So I guess those are them.
Yeah. I can't put much input into that, unfortunately. So mine was
Those are great matches.
Yeah, good. Moving on, because like I said, I don't follow sports or anything like that. So it's, I know, like wrestling, I know it can be sort of said whether it is a sport or not, but I suppose it is in some ways, isn't it? Even though it's kind of showmanship really more than anything.
Yeah, they call it sports entertainment. So yeah, these guys are great athletes taking incredible risks in a performance art piece, I guess you would call it. Sort of performance art. It's not real sports, but these guys are incredible athletes.
Yeah, Yeah, definitely. I agree. Because I have actually been to, there was like a pub, or a bar.
Yeah.
I suppose you deal with Steve all the time, don't you? So you know what the English phrases are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ask if you don't. Yeah, basically this, wrestling match was being put on. It was like a charity thing. And it was actually quite interesting to sort of see all the people there. It was all outside in a beer garden. It was really good,
Yeah.
and I really did enjoy it. So it's probably would be something that I would enjoy.
It's fun to go to the live event, especially if it's a smaller venue.
Yeah.
I mean, even people who don't like wrestling will go and have a good time because it's a fun spectacle to watch.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I remember one guy jumping on the table, and I was like, "Oi, mate, do your bit, but don't knock me drink over." Us Brits, you don't mess with our drinks.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And last question is from Jazz Chicken, who's asked, do badgers like bagels?
Do badgers like bagels?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes, just because if I just being familiar with woodland creatures, I would imagine they would eat anything that's given to them. So I guess if you gave a badger a bagel, he would eat it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it near your house because in case they do like it, they're going to keep coming back.
Yeah, definitely. And we don't want that.
No.
And they're vicious little buggers they are as well. So
I've heard.
Yeah. I was once driving back from basically I used to work at a hotel that was really in the countryside, and there was this, it's almost like a derelict lane that you had to drive down to get to it, sort of thing. The road wasn't brilliant, but there was like loads of woodlands around it and stuff. I accidentally, and it would have been accidental, drove over a badger.
Oh no.
But I was like devastated because I was like, like I love animals and stuff. So, but it ran off. It was absolutely fine.
Wow.
And I was like, how is that even possible? Because they're so thick.
Yeah.
Thick. Their skulls and whatnot are so thick that, it's like really hard to sort of kill them. So, yeah. But not that I want to kill it, kind of thing, because I love badgers.
No, but
yeah,
it's scary to know that you can't. So that's the problem.
Yeah, well, I think you can eventually, but it takes a lot of effort. So, right, well, I've noticed the time, so I've noticed that we've been recording for nearly an hour and a half now. So,
oh wow, really?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's insane, isn't it? It's like it's time flying by. So I'm thinking that we should wrap the episode up so that you can get back to chilling out or doing something else with your day if you'd like.
All right.
But of course, unless you want to stay, and then we can talk for another 4 hours if you like. But
I'm waiting for the text from Ralph to see what I have to go record. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm sitting around waiting for.
No, okay. Well, you can still, just put your feet up and have a little chill out for a bit. But rest your vocal cords.
Thanks.
Yeah. And before you go, though, do you want to tell people where they can find you and go through where they can find your special and whatnot?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can find me at my website. Usually can lead you to every place you want to go to find me. Basically, go to eddiepence.com, EDDIEPENCE.com. And that's sort of a landing page for all my podcasts and my comedy special and all that stuff. Otherwise, you can just Google search me and I'll pop up there as well. You can find me 5 days a week on patreon.com as the vice host of the Ralph Report with Ralph Garman. And you can find me basically 4 days a week doing the Ramble with Jerry Rocha on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com, the Ramble TV, I believe. Or Ramble TV, not the Ramble, Ramble TV. Or you just find us on iTunes, the Ramble. We're there. Or just look me up on my social media. I always post about everything I'm doing. So if you don't find anywhere else, you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Eddie Pence, EDDIEPENCE. And I post everything I do there. So you can follow me there and that'll take you where you need to go. So there you go.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and I'll put all that in the bio description as well for the episode.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And and good, continued good luck with the comedy special, unspecial as well.
Thank you, Gemma. Appreciate it.
No, you're welcome because you when you just know that somebody should, definitely deserves a good break, you know?
Oh,
And you're one of those people, Eddie, so
oh, thank you. I appreciate
you're
that.
welcome. There you go. End on a positive. So, in that case, then, I think we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. I have been Gemma. Did you want to say your name or?
Oh, where I say my name. I've been Eddie Pence.
Yeah.
Where I say that.